Hi beautiful souls and beautiful earth beings, so happy to connect with you here again. And today I want to have a look at what's new and what's old in your lives. So I want to see, like at this time when I'm recording this video, which is kind of mid-January, beginning of the year, it's very prominent, this energies of us kind of looking back at where we've been and the energies we're bringing with us at this time, and what we want to bring with us, what we perhaps need to release, and also what, like, kind of feeling into what new energies we're stepping into, what we're calling into our lives, and how is that entering our lives. Do we need to do something to invite this change? Do we need to take some caution? And of course how that combines with the old energies. So we kind of like in that state of looking back, reassessing, reevaluating, and moving forward with the new focus. And that's what I want to do today in this reading. And I've done something slightly different today, and as you can see there are 6 piles here, and I divided them in 2 groups. And one group here at the bottom, these darker cards, represent our old energies, the energies we are stepping out of, or perhaps bringing with us from the past, the energies that perhaps need to be released or changed or shifted. And here at the top, these are the new energies that we're stepping into. And the way it will work, that I invite you to choose one of these 3 piles, either pile 1, 2 or 3, to see what old energies you are bringing with you, and then choose one of these 3 piles to see what new energies you are stepping into. And let's call these A, B and C. So once again, old energies 1, 2, 3, and the new ones A, B, C. So you can choose any combinations you like, 1 pile from the bottom and 1 pile from the top, and that would be your reading. So it's a bit like a mix and match thing here. I really would like you to drop into your belly from your head and let your gut instinct guide you towards the piles that really resonate with you, that call you, and that would be your message. Really try not to go from the head. And the timestamps will be in the description box below or in the comments. And of course you are very welcome to choose just the old energy if you want to look at the old energies, or just the new energy pile if you want just to see what the new energies arise. And of course you could choose different combinations. It's all up to you, and I hope it makes sense, and if not, do comment and I'll try to guide you through this reading, and I'll see you in the timestamps below. Hi, pile number 1. These we're gonna have a look at your old energies, and I've got 4 cards for you here. So we've got conch shell, got 8 of swords, king of swords, and the sun. Beautiful. So what I'm getting from this spread here is that in the recent past, I feel like you might have felt the conch shell here, and with it saying calling, you might have been hearing your calling, and it might have felt maybe quite quiet, and it could be quite loud as well, like something within you, something that you feel like was hidden within you started slowly coming out, like music, like this quiet music. You're not quite sure what you're hearing, but you're hearing something. And you might have really started feeling that you know where your happiness lies. You know where your path should lead you. But you're not quite yet, like it's like the feeling that you're getting, that you are getting to know what it is, but you're not exactly yet necessarily know what it is. Of course, some of you might have a very clear idea what it is and where you're heading, and And for some of you, that could be actually related with some music. I can see quite a lot of music here and dances. I can see some children as well involved, or some quite youthful energy. So it could be related to children and maybe working with some youth. And for others, it could be a completely different thing, something, a very hidden dream, or some kind of path or destiny that is coming through suddenly for you. You feel like, I'm suddenly understanding my calling, or I'm aligning onto my path to go towards my calling. And for some of you, it could have been just the feeling, nothing specific. It might have not even felt yet, oh, that's the path. I really know, ABC, what I need to do. And yeah, I also getting a sense that some of you might be studying and involved in some studies, and these studies are aligning you to your path in your life. You might be learning new things, or you might be getting some messages or receiving some messages, starting to understand better what you need to learn, what you need to study to go towards your path. However, I can see that you've been feeling a little bit restricted to follow that path, or even sometimes restricted to hear these voices and to hear that song, that calling. So it's as if it's like it's there, but you're not quite understanding what's going on, or you're not quite hearing what it is. Like something is stopping you from hearing it, or something is stopping you from following it. And I have a feeling that for many of you, it has something to do with this figure here of the King of Swords. For many of you, I feel like it's not really your energy, but it's some kind of outside influencing energy. And there could be a variety of scenarios here with this King of Swords. I'm hearing that for some of you, that could be quite a fatherly kind of figure in your life. It could be maybe a boss, it could be actually a father, it could be someone who's older than you, a teacher or some sort, that is very influential in your life right now. And for some of you, it might feel like this person is stopping you from following your path and going towards this this destination that you feel you need to get to in order to fulfill your calling. And that's what might make you feel restricted. And you feel like this person, or whatever that influence is, the outside influence, that seems to be more authoritative in your life and quite sharp, perhaps, quite logical, not very emotional as such, might not let you kind of align with your soul calling. So that's how you might be feeling at the moment. For others, I see that this figure or this authority, this kind of like person or influence in your life, actually might be bringing you this opportunity to go towards your calling and to get there. However, you are still feel restricted. Whether you feel like this authoritative voice, this authoritative influence is a bit too strong, too harsh for you to go there, and it's like almost knocking your confidence down. Or whether you feel like, no, this is not possible. This is not for me. I can't do that. So it's like as if this calling is really faint, too faint, or it's almost like too good to be true. Or you feel intimidated perhaps by this King of Swords, by this influence, and you feel restricted and you feel like you can't move forward. So there's a number of scenarios that I'm getting here and the energies are picking up on. However, the kind of the underlying message and the most important message that I'm hearing here is that no matter what the scenario and what the story is with this authority or this figure or these influences from outside that might seem to be stronger than you, more authoritative than you, that maybe they are not so in touch with the feelings as you are now, not so in touch with your intuition, and with this kind of calling, maybe a bit too logical, maybe a bit too harsh. And as much as you might feel like you want to put this kind of blame on restriction that you are feeling on them, on the outside influences, what the card suggests here, that you actually are the one who has the power to go towards this calling. This person here is, this person or this influence here is to help you to get there. It's a very strong influence, and even if it feels like I'm saying he because that's the King of Swords, but it could be he, she, or even it as kind of influences. Even if these influences here are so strong and so they might seem like they're working against you, this working against you would be the thing that would help you step into your power. So it's like a challenge in a way, like a challenge that you might need to overcome and go like, no, this is not what gonna stop me from achieving my goal. This is actually something that will make me stronger. This is something that will help me feel more confident in myself to go for these goals. So basically what the cards here are suggesting, and that I really strongly feel, is that whatever influences, outside influences, that you might consider to be a blockage, that you might to be considering as a challenge, and as the energy that you're kind of coming into right now and into your life, it is there for a purpose. This challenge is there for a purpose, and this challenge is there to make you stronger so you could go towards your goal stronger, believing in your power rather than relying on someone else to take you there. And yeah, and it is really like the card's really encouraging you to listen to this calling. It is there. It's really strong, and it can take you to really bright, good places. And you know that. I feel like you really deep inside know that. You can feel the strength of the sun, this vitality, this energy that's coming from that destination that you're heading. You know that that's what's at the end of that destination, or even on the journey of this destination. And it's just this restriction that you kind of need to overcome. And this restriction is very much self-imposed. So if it's in the scenario where the person is actually coming with good intentions and is bringing you this opportunity, some kind of, let's say, a teacher or some kind of authority, some person in your life coming and going like, here, I've got this, job opportunity, or here, I've got this recording deal for your music. But it seems to be too intimidating. It seems to be too scary. The figure seems to be like a bit too harsh, maybe even on you. Maybe they make some commands or they guide you the way that it doesn't feel very sensitive to where you are in your life right now, or to even to your path. Take it as a challenge, take it as a lesson, and take it as a challenge, a lesson, not to take it personally, and really just feel into your power and really believe in this calling and this path and these influences as your allies rather than enemies. So really kind of try to take the restrictions off you and focus on believing in yourself and your path, and take what you can from these external influences, no matter how strong they are, no matter how intimidating they are there to really help you. So that's the message I'm getting, and it's actually really beautiful spread, really beautiful cards, and I really feel quite excited about this journey that you're on, and actually even the strength of the influences that you have around you. There's something as well, there is a lot of energy of connecting to the source of life and connecting to your path, connecting to your truth. And at the same time, there's a lot of energy of mental energy. So there is a lot of being in the head and overthinking it a lot, being too logical perhaps about it. So it's just saying that it's okay to have these energies together, but don't let the head energy, the mental energy, overshadow what you actually feel your calling is, and to start doubting it or start doubting yourself on your path then. So I hope that message resonated, and now you can head on to the lighter piles of your new energy centering, and you could choose A, B, or C. And if you need to go back to the timestamps in the beginning, just rewind and have a look what piles there are, and choose the energies for the future that are coming into your life. Okay, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. We're going to have a look at your old energies in this pile here. So let's see. We have a Death card of Transmigration. We have a Page of Cups. We have a Princess of Swords, which is like page as well. Page of Swords. And we have Death in reverse. So, very interesting spread. Straight away I can see there's a very strong energy of death, which can be, I can kind of feel the Scorpio energy quite a lot here. So you might be a Scorpio, you might have some Scorpios in your life that you're dealing with at the moment. But overall, I'm feeling this kind of strong energy, underlying energy of renewal. And straight away I'm feeling that perhaps there is some kind of resistance to follow that energy of renewal. But we're going to have a look at it a little bit more in detail. So I feel that you in the past already have been seeing that you are heading to a new direction, to kind of heading to a new light. And it's kind of like you're standing there looking at it and go like, how do I get there? I need to like kind of, it's like almost feeling if I'm stepping into this, I need to be completely new. I need to be new, renewed. And has very strong energy here. I'm getting as well quite potent energy from this Princess of Swords, of that kind of clarity coming in of where you need to head and what needs to change. But although there is this clarity, there is quite a lot of resistance because we still have death in reverse. Like as if you know what needs to change. You know exactly what needs to fall off. But you are reluctant to make those changes. And I can see this, it's very interesting. This Page of Cups here looks a little bit almost out of place in the way he is, kind of imagery wise and color wise, and I'm looking at this page and those cups. I'm feeling again there's water energy here, and I'm feeling like perhaps that could have been your energy in the past. I feel like you might have been seeking some relationships, or you might be seeking some friendships, some kind of emotional fulfillment that you were seeking from many different places, or perhaps from one individual. And you had some expectations, and you've been getting quite little. And it's this, like, what you've been getting, it might have been nice, and it might have been very lovely. Like it's something, you know, some kind of emotional excitement, something new perhaps in your life. But somehow it doesn't quite stand the strength and the scale. Like it doesn't compare to the scale of the energy that you are in. It's like it felt a little bit not enough to fill your cup. And I can see this if you look at this figure standing here. It's like as if this person is just looking in that cup and is a little bit disappointed. Like, yeah, you know, I'm getting something, but it's not really filling my cup. That's not enough. That's not what's happening in my life. That's not what I need right now. So I'm getting this feeling that you emotionally you've been getting only drabs. Just you know, little drops of satisfaction, little drops of emotional fulfillment. and you just been a little bit maybe disappointed in that, or just feeling that you can't really go forward with this energy. You can't hang around there waiting for someone to fill that cup for you. And I really see this, if you look at this card here, of the Princess of Swords, and I'm really feeling, oh, actually, I just wanted to say that this Prince of Cups, well, the Page of Cups here, could also represent someone in your life. Perhaps someone in your life was a bit like that. They were not bringing much to you. No, they were not willing to give a lot. It's just a little cup of something. And, you know, with that kind of expression of not much enthusiasm. Just something little and small. Maybe a little promise, but nothing concrete. But your energy here is very different. And you're going through a huge changes. And that's not enough. It just doesn't compare to where you are. And I'm looking at this princess here, Princess of Swords. And if you can see, there is this skull and this light that comes out of the skull. And I'm really feeling this energy of death again and renewal. And it's like as if you are feeling this renewal coming and how important it is in your life. And that's where you know you have to be heading. That's where you know you need to be going. Not in this direction, not, you know, holding on to that cup and to these little drabs of emotional offerings. You need to be heading to somewhere better, something not even better, but it's just different. It's you going through some kind of almost spiritual awakening. You are opening, you know, all your chakras there on top. You're connecting to bigger things. If you look at this huge city there, you're like almost above it. You can see bigger pictures. You can see a bigger picture. You connect wider. You can connect wider than just these relationships that you were having, or these friendships that you were having, these connections that you were having. You're connecting much wider. This also talks about communication and spreading your word. And I'm looking a lot at how this princess is here and how strong she is in her power, how much mental clarity she has, and that clarity of direction. And I think this is very important. She's also very decisive. Again, I'm saying she because the card says princess, but that could be energy of any gender. So it's a very decisive energy, very kind of decisively moving forward and moving away, I feel, from the energy of this Page of Cups. I also notice a lot that there are, if you look at this death card closely, there's like in the background these blue kind of figures. They're like a bit like ghosts, and same here, there are these figures of kind of ghosts and the same kind of blue colors. And I'm really feeling that you know exactly what you need to leave behind. You know exactly what people or what relationships, what connections you need to cut out of your life. And we have swords here, and we have this death, which is kind of like, again, like a sword, cutting energy, cutting through it and leaving things behind and moving forward. And it really tells me with the death in reverse, I really feel like, and with this energy here, that you might doubt your strength in doing that. It's like really that huge. The scale of this change and transformation is so huge. Am I able to do it? Maybe I'm okay with just this cup over here. Maybe that's enough. But the cards are really suggesting that no, you can and you should be doing it. And you know that. That's what's needed from you. To head to this new light, to head to these new things in your life. So yeah, releasing old connections that don't serve you anymore, releasing the relationships in your life that were not fulfilling you completely or not offering you much, and that you felt are not at the same kind of vibrational level as you are, because you are in a very high vibrational level at the moment. You can really see it here, and you're heading to even higher planes. And those people, those connections, those relationships that are not vibrating in the same level have to stay behind. You can't take them with you onto this journey, and that's basically what's reflected in the cards. You don't forget you are very strong by yourself. You have very strong energy, very clear-minded, very focused, and you can make these decisions of cutting these connections, these connections out of your life really quickly and moving on really quickly, because you know exactly what they are. You have a really good kind of understanding of it. It's just making that first step and decision. It can be quite daunting to make that step. You know, if you look at the slide that you suddenly see that comes, you know, from the top of your skull, it's so huge, it's almost blinding. So of course stepping into it might seem like a huge step, but the energy is so strong here, and I really feel it's your energy and you are within, and the cards are really encouraging you to embrace it and go with it, and the new things will come into your life once you make that step forward. And yeah, so that's the old energies that you are dealing with. And if you want to have a look at your new energies, you can pick one of the piles that were at the top, the light ones. There were A, B, or C, and then you can click on the timestamps below to go to those piles and see what's new coming into your life. And I'll see you then. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. We're going to have a look at your older energies that you are bringing with you right now. And yeah, so let's have a look what you've got. So you've got water, card of water, which says expression. You have High Priestess. Brilliant. You've got 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Wow. Yeah, incredible. Quite strong energies here, and very interesting when you get something like that in the question of what needs to be released. Well, first of all, what I'm seeing is here that with water, water is a very purifying element, so it obviously kind of tells you that there are things that you need to release. There are things that you need to cleanse, things that basically you need to strip down. So water is a very strong purifier, and it basically talks about that there are probably things in your life that you might need to cleanse. So you probably need to cleanse. You need to let go of quite a lot of things, perhaps, to embrace new things. And the High Priestess here really speaks of the fact that you intuitively really know it. Look at her, how she's kind of looking her book and her wisdom and knowledge, and looking at that water with this trust. There's trust in this water and that kind of purification process. So deep inside you know it, and you can sense it, that there are things that need to be purified, there are things that need to be cleansed and released. Over here we have 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups, and 10s are normally kind of cards of completion, kind of getting to the ultimate, you know, state of that suit. And you've got Pentacles and Cups, which are wonderful cards, which could mean a lot of, you know, wish fulfillments, things that people really seek in their lives, like having emotional fulfillment and some kind of stability in their life. Perhaps there is a strong family foundation, some really good family support. It could be even financial things like inheritance coming in, or some kind of good monetary rewards in your work. And at the same time, you know, you might feel very fulfilled where you are. You might be feeling very fulfilled in your relationships, in your family, in your current job, generally in your life, with your friends, with everything. So these cards are very strong, and you know, to get two 10s together is really showing that you might feel at the moment that you are in a really good place, and that you know, and even if it doesn't quite feel like that at the moment, that you're listening and like, no, I'm far from that. what it might be saying is that in this kind of High Priestess and the water purification things, next to these cards, you might feel like, no, actually nothing in my life needs to be changed. Everything is perfectly fine, and I don't need to release anything. Because, you know, once you have these 2 tens, which make you really happy, that might be not the case in your life, but let's say you accomplish, or you receive something that makes you feel stable and makes you feel like emotionally fulfilled, you might feel like, why would I release any of that? All of this is great. I'm happy with it. I want to move forward without releasing anything. And what water card here suggests is that you can't really move forward without releasing something. And there's always something to purify. There is always a way of going deeper into where you need to go and stripping down to the essence, really kind of digging deeper to see who you are and what you want to bring forward, if you want to evolve, if you want to step into your more authentic self. As well as saying expression here, it talks a lot about kind of being more authentic, stepping into more authentic self. And there's like this kind of figure that emerges from water that I can see here in the middle. And it's kind of like not obvious, especially when I look at it upside down. It's really not obvious. But if you step into that power, if you let this water wash over, there's something new emerges, a new you. And this High Priestess really knows that. And the card's kind of encouraging you to trust this process, and also saying that you will not lose, even though it might feel like you will lose something in the process. And the cards are saying you will not lose the things that are important. Sorry, I had to stop the video and restart it again as my kids came back in from outside, and it was a little chaotic. But here it is. I just laid it back all, so the layout might look a little bit different. But let's carry on the reading. And so another message that I'm hearing here is that because of this 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups over here, which might seem like an amazing kind of cards to get in the reading, really, and it's quite rare, to be honest. And however, they might give a little kind of, and with the High Priestess next to them, you might feel a little bit complacent in this place because things are going well. Things are actually okay. And why would you want to move anywhere? There is a little bit, High Priestess is often quite, there's not much movement in there. And I also looking at these figures at the bottom here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Just sitting over there like a family with 2 children. And they just sitting so calmly, you know, they're very content. And this contentment that comes from this kind of like achieving things, getting to the end of it, it's like can bring a little bit of complacency. It's like, why strive for more? Why dig any deeper? Why change the course of things? And that often comes from the fear of losing something or what we already have. Why make changes if we seem to be doing well and have everything? Because what if we lose some of this? What if we lose a pentacle? What if we lose a cup? What if our cup's empty, or this kind of perfection suddenly disintegrates? And then this kind of waterfalls might feel quite scary, you know, and that kind of in you know, from that place, coming from that place. However, I feel a lot of calmness here. And if you look at the High Priestess looking at this water, these waterfalls, she's quite confident that whatever needs to wash away will wash away, and what needs to stay will stay. So the message is really kind of strong here about that. The other thing that I'm getting with the High Priestess here in the middle, quite prominent, is that there might be some things that you're not seeing yet and that need to be revealed. And perhaps this kind of process of purification and process of going through some kind of healing even, that might not seem like needs to be done because things seem to be going quite well. But what it says here, there is something hidden behind all that looks really good, all that seems like nothing is lacking. There are still some things that need to be healed, need to be brought up and expressed and addressed, and there might be hiding behind all of this what seems to be achieved and what seems to be abundant. And that is all okay here, but you shouldn't be scared to go in and address the things that need to be addressed if you want to step forward in your journey, if you want to go further. And I can see that in this card here, I can see that within you, you know that you want or need to go a bit deeper in. See how these figures really kind of like opening the third eye and kind of going a bit further in this journey. It's not just kind of complacent with the pentacles, but really going within. So there's something about going within and looking what needs to be cleansed, what needs to be released, and what needs to be healed, what needs to be expressed, how this authentic self can come through even in this situation. So overall, I'm feeling that the cards are here really, really good, and the energy is really great. It's a very calm, generally it's a very calm energy that you're coming with. There's not much movement, and perhaps the movement will be needed, and perhaps this would instigate some movement forward. And the main message that I'm taking from here is that not to be scared to lose anything, because you won't lose the things that are meant for you, that's for sure. And that there are some things that you need to uncover within yourself and go a little bit deeper to kind of try and extract that pure self. It could be a long process, of course, as for all of us, but keep going on that journey of purifying, of really reaching for your true potential, your true self. Don't get complacent in these kind of achievements, because as in any journey, after 10 we go back in the cycle to 0 and we start again. So this is the message from this reading, and this is the old energy, the kind of the current energy, the old energy that you're coming with to this point in your life. And if you want to see what kind of new energies might be coming into your life, what new potentials coming into your life and how best to deal with them, you can pick one of these decks over here, which would be A, B, and C. And I'll carry on your reading once you pick those ones. You can find the timestamps for these in the comments or in the description box below. See you then. Hi Pile A, this is your reading of your future energies that are coming into your life very soon, or you might be already feeling them, you might already be living them, and let's see what's here and what kind of advice we might get, what kind of insight we might get. So first of all, I'm feeling quite a lot of earthy energy. There are these 2 pentacles that came up in reverse. We have Capricorn energy as well, with full moon in Capricorn, which reads the end of Thoth cycle approaches. Although we do have all the elements present here, but the Capricorn being earth sign and these pentacles here and the colors of the spread really gives me this quite earthy feel. So I'm feeling that the energies that you might be feeling coming into your life might be more to do with practical things. It could be something work related, career related, something to do with your stability, perhaps your living situation or your work situation as well. And with these 2 of Pentacles, I'm feeling that, and generally with different kind of elements in the spread, I'm feeling that you might at the times feel like you are not able to balance different aspects of your life, and especially when it comes to kind of practical parts of your life, the financial perhaps, or work-related things, with more your private life and your emotional life, your personal life. And that's why I'm feeling quite a lot of scattered energy in this spread. And I think what it calls you with this energies coming into your life to try and find more balance in between. You have with these two pentacles, which is often talks about balancing different aspects in your life, and they come in reverse, and it's really calling you to try and balance these energies. Easier said than done, of course, and I can see this in the spread that your attention will be quite scattered, and especially with these Five of Rods in reverse, you might be feeling that a lot of things are pulling you in different directions, and maybe some kind of even petty arguments, little situations in your work, or like kind of practical situations basically that just keep distracting you, keep taking your attention away from your aim and your purpose, which seems to lie a lot in in somewhere where you want to be in your life. And it seems like you're really seeking some kind of emotional fulfillment at the moment. It seems like your focus actually is not on the work life, and although all the energy at the moment is guiding you and pulling you to this practical, to this financial, to your stability, the kind of earthy situation at the moment, where you want to focus is your emotional fulfillment. It is maybe even love situations, relationship situations. It's how you feel in your heart, and over there it seems to be a really good prospect, and it seems like you might be finding this fulfillment in this kind of new stage in your life. However, I'm also hearing that you will be able to enjoy it, you will be able to find it more if you manage to balance these opposing kind of energies that are coming into your life. It's interesting because we have all four elements here on the table. We have fire, we have air, we have water, and we have earth. And I can see these kind of four directions over here as well. So it really feels like you're being pulled in many different directions, and you're kind of operating on many different levels, on this kind of practical level, in your head and in your heart and in your passion. Everything is at play, and you seem to be trying to see which needs your priority at the moment. You don't seem to be able to decide which needs prioritizing. And with this Page of Swords here, I'm really feeling that you need to step in a little bit into that energy of kind of quite light, decisive energy of just making a quick decisions, being really sharp in your head, and having a little bit more clarity in your vision. Also, perhaps communication, good and clear communication could be a really key in this stage in your life, especially with these Five of Rods being here as well, where things can get a little bit messy sometimes in some situations in your life. With a clear head and clear communication, you might achieve a bit more balance. And I feel like once you achieve more balance in your life, you will feel like you can tap into this fulfillment of your emotional fulfillment. But for some, I'm seeing some kind of perhaps even creative project or something coming to a completion that might give you a certain fulfillment. Also with the Capricorn here, and it's a full moon in Capricorn, this is kind of also speaks about completion. So with 10 of Cups being at the end of the cycle, and the full moon as well, and especially in Capricorn, I'm feeling that for some of you it might signify an end of a certain project, or the end of a certain job, maybe something that didn't feel quite peaceful, or somewhere that you felt a little bit restless, where things were not quite blending together quite well with other people. Maybe some kind of team dynamics didn't quite work. That might be coming to the end, that kind of cycle. And that might help you achieve more balance in your life, in your personal life. And also with the 10 of Cups here as well, I'm feeling that it could be a creative project for some that you might be completing. You might feel very fulfilled when it's complete, but at the same time, on the other hand, you might still feeling like, but something's a little bit sticky, even though this is really nice that it's now coming to the end and it's now completing. There were a few things that were not going quite well, but with full moon in Capricorn, it says that this is ending now, this stage is ending now, and you kind of need to just keep in check how to balance these energies, that you could complete it quite cleanly and clearly and get out this kind of satisfaction out of it, of completion, of that emotional satisfaction, and not focus on those little kind of situational disagreements or difficulties that might have come up in this journey, in this path. So yeah, the main message here would be about, I'm just suddenly kind of saw that for some of you it might be actually, although I think for most of you I'm reading this as your energy, this Page of Swords, and the energy that might actually help out in the situation of balancing the energies coming into your life. But for some of you I also hear that it could be a person coming in your life that will bring some communication or bring some kind of clarity, maybe a little piece of advice or something that might really help you out in the situations. Maybe even would help you out to close off some of the cycles and some of the chapters and move to a clearer, more balanced kind of way forward. So watch out for these kind of energies coming in. That could be quite useful, I'm hearing. I'm also seeing that for some of you, it could be even a person who is kind of feeling like someone almost looking into this unbalanced energy that is coming here with these 2 pentacles, and just watching you in it, and perhaps wanting to help you, or yeah, I'm just feeling someone kind of watching this imbalance. But I feel they can be quite helpful and for you getting out of it and balancing things out in your life. So these are the general energies I'm getting for you going forward. I hope that's helpful, a little kind of overview, and feel free to pick another pile if it resonated with you, and let me know in the comments how it resonated, and please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Hi, pile number B, not number, letter B. Hello, pile B. So this is your reading for the new energies that are entering your life at the moment. And some of these energies you might be feeling already in your life. So that could be an advice of like which ones are the important and how to kind of follow them, what's the best advice would be. And I hope that will be helpful. Let's have a look what's in here. So straight away I can see, similarly like in the pile 1, there is quite a lot of earthy energy, although this seems to be a little bit more balanced with water energy too. So we have new moon in Taurus here. So you might be a Taurus, you might be dealing with someone who's Taurus or earth sign. We also have a King of Coins here, which is like a King of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. So there's an earth energy here. These signs might be irrelevant. There's also water here as well, quite dominant. This card says prosperity lies ahead. That's good news, right? But the message here is quite interesting and probably not as straightforward. Let's have a look at this. So it seems to me that we have a new moon in Taurus. So it's kind of a new thing coming in. It's like as it says, prosperity lies ahead. So it's So we have a new moon in Taurus card, which says prosperity lies ahead, which is good news. It means that, well, what it says, that prosperity lies ahead. And I do have a feeling that this reading does revolve mainly around financial situation, or perhaps some work situation, career things, but not necessarily. It seems like there's a few possibilities here and a few messages that could be here. But there's definitely, I see some kind of individual that could have been in your life, represented here by King of Pentacles. It could be an older individual, it could be Earth sign, or someone who's quite stable in the life at the moment, and perhaps in the work. They might be in a very important role in the work, and some kind of managerial position, leading position, very stable and confident, basically. And that person could have been in your life, or they might be in your life. What I'm feeling here is that it could have been someone that you were perhaps relying on, or someone that you felt might be the one who would provide for you. So it could have been quite directly. I don't know, perhaps it's a boss, or maybe a parent. It could be also a partner of some sort that you who was earning maybe more, and you had some kind of, you were relying on to some degree. It could also, for some of you, mean that there was a person in your life, perhaps a love interest of some sort that you felt could bring some stability into your life. However, with Eight of Hearts over here, I see that there is a need of, and High Priestess as well next to it. I sense that you feel like this person doesn't quite match your needs at the moment right now, which are represented here by this Queen of Cups. And I feel like your kind of your emotional side is not quite fulfilled by this person over here, and that's doesn't feel like the right match to where your energy is going. And I feel like with High Priestess here, you really feel this, and you feel the need to walk away from the situation. And at the same time, I'm feeling some sort of attachment to this prosperity prospect that is coming up, and that is really coming so strongly. I even feel like in this like resonance of colors here, that is coming so strongly from this individual here. Either he or she, whoever it was, very important in giving you that sense of stability and giving you that sense of a prospect of prosperity ahead that you are very scared to lose. And there's kind of like, in some way, a certain dependency that could potentially be built in that way. And what the cards are showing here is that you don't really need this individual to ensure your prosperity ahead. What I'm feeling is that it is safe to walk away from this individual or from this situation. And actually what this card encourages you to do, and what this card draws kind of like this Taurus energy and this Venus energy, is really trying to tell you that this prosperity lies ahead if you believe in yourself. And there's a lot of this kind of High Priestess and this Queen of Cups. She's very confident in herself, in her emotions. She's very balanced in that way. And there is not much, I can't see much dependency on others. But there is this fear of walking away. There is a fear of this. I'm looking at these fish here. I don't know if you can see at the bottom. And fish for me sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and especially here, they can mean prosperity, and how this kind of like connection, that you're still kind of feeling that there is a connection to that prosperity coming from this individual that connects directly, and that's kind of blocking you from moving forward and taking that step, walking away, and doesn't necessarily need to be a physically walking away from this person or this individual. It could be just perhaps not rely on this individual anymore for the prosperity. So you don't need to cut that individual out of your life. For some of you, even it might be that you feel that this individual stopped providing this prosperity for you, and you might be scared of, like, are they walking away? Are they leaving me behind in that sense? And this is just reassuring that your prosperity is not dependent on this person here. And what High Priestess here is showing, and the Queen of Cups, that you need to kind of rebuild your belief in yourself within, and really connect to the truths that you know about yourself, your strength. I'm feeling a lot of feminine energy down here, strong feminine energy. And really kind of getting into that feminine energy strongly and walking away from that really strong masculine energy. So more into yin, and looking for that softness and that balance and strength of emotional strength within. And once you bring that belief back to yourself, rather than to external situations or other individuals to rely on bringing prosperity into your life, you will find quite a lot of prosperity. And basically that will come once this kind of goes the other way around. And I can see here that once you make this shift, once you kind of bring more attention and more trust in this yin place and your feminine side, and drop more into that energy, you will bring more balance and more abundance will start flowing your way. I can see that you are there is a fear of pain, of releasing that connection or that some sort of dependence on these outside influences that might have brought you some abundance before. But I'm really seeing this kind of softness of this energy and how supportive it is, and how your inner intuition, your inner guidance is so much stronger than this energy even. And it's really just kind of reminding you that you have so much within you that is enough for you to provide for yourself, provide that abundance and bring that abundance in, if you believe in yourself and your power and that energy, that you by yourself are enough and you don't need an external reliance on others. You don't need also, I feel like, let in a little bit more emotion, let in a little bit more feminine side into your practical world, into your financial world, into your business or work, whatever you're doing. It is safe to do that. It is actually beneficial to do that. And just really stay strong in your power. And of course, Taurus always reminds us to be practical as well. So it's kind of like a balance of these energies. Like I can see this like hard as well balance here, the hard and the practicality. But yeah, the message for me, the strongest here is this kind of cutting this reliance on the other, on someone else external in your life. So this is the message I'm picking up here from this pile. Hope that resonated, and let me know in the comments how it resonated. And if you want to pick another pile, that is fine too. If you got drawn to pile C or pile A, just click on those and in the description box. And yeah, please like and subscribe. That would really help my channel and will really help me bring more of these videos to you that I enjoy doing so much. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Hi, Pile C. I'm gonna be looking now at your new energies coming into your life to see what's coming, what's the potential, and what's the advice from the cards of how to navigate the new energies that are entering your life. I can see from the spread here is that the energy that you might be entering soon, or you might already be feeling it now, but it might get stronger, is might feel quite intense. We have full moon and Scorpio, and both Scorpio and full moon are quite intense energy, so them together might really emotionally feel intense. However, in the tarot cards over here, I don't see much cards indicating emotion as such, as Scorpio would be. Kind of being water sign, it speaks more to emotional side of us. Also, you might be a Scorpio, you might be dealing with a Scorpio or someone with really kind of strong Scorpio energy in them. It's interesting because in one of the piles of the old energies, I don't remember whether it was second maybe pile, there was a lot of Scorpio energy as well. So if you're watching both of the piles, it could be still that old energy coming through and culminating in the near future for you. So although there is a Scorpio here and it's emotionally quite intense, what I'm seeing here is not so much emotion as it's more of a kind of mental blockage of some sort. And I can see two very strong influences here coming from outside. There is one is here, very strong energy of Prince of Swords. It could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And there's another one, King of Pentacles, which is quite a strong earthy kind of energy. It could be an earth sign, not necessarily. It could be just with that kind of energy that is very stable, that is very in some kind of dominant, prominent positions in life, with financial stability, or just someone quite kind of strong earthy energy in your life. I'm seeing that this energy of Prince of Swords could be some individual who's perhaps younger, and the King of Pentacles here could be a bit older energy, but not necessarily. It could be just more mature, a little bit more perhaps youthful. And it seems to me that you possibly are trying to juggle and trying to balance between these two energies. It could be for some of you, it could be a love-related, relationship-related thing that you might have two individuals in your life and you're trying to choose between the two, or you're trying to balance the two energies and decide which kind of like is better for you, better in your life, which way to go. I can feel slightly kind of, they're very different energies. They might feel quite opposite, but they are similarly strong. And perhaps that's why this balancing might come quite hard to do. And seems like you are doing it, but I can see that the water's behind you here, and with this Scorpio full moon, that it's emotionally really, really challenging. And with Eight of Swords here, I really feel that you feel mentally blocked in this situation. You feel like there is no way out, as if you can't choose, you can't make any choice, you can't move on from this situation. So it seems like there are two opposing kind of energies, two opposing influences that you are trying to juggle between, and you seem to not be able to move in either direction. So for some of you, it could be some kind of perhaps even different job opportunities or different circumstantial circumstantial influences in your life that you seem to be a little bit torn between, that you need to be managing. Perhaps there is something very great ideas you might be having and wanting to move forward with them. However, there are some kind of responsibilities that are holding you back, and you're trying to juggle between the two of those, trying to be mature in the situation at the same time trying to move on forward with your ideas. And that could put you in this kind of like mental block, feeling like there is no way out of the situation. It does feel to me like it is a quite intense situation. So it's like really quite important decisions you're trying to make, or quite important and quite opposing energies that you're trying to deal with. What this card would suggest, and the message here is time to release negativity, it would really kind of relate to me with this Eight of Swords energy. And Eight of Swords is, and also having quite a bit of Swords energy here, is a very energy of being in your head. So it's a very mental energy. And it seems to me with these swords especially pointing at her head that you really are stuck, but that is a mental block that you are creating for yourself. It is a negativity of some sort, or kind of fears that are blocking you. So it's not so much that the actual circumstances are blocking you. You seem to be dealing fine juggling them together. You feel, and it's okay to have them both in your life at the moment, but it is the mental block that you're creating for yourself that make you feel stuck in the situation. Yes, it is true that the situation doesn't seem to be moving much anywhere at the moment. It is kind of going back and forth as in this kind of closed loop, and it doesn't seem to be flowing in any direction. But perhaps at this time in your life, it is okay. And it's what's the most important thing that the cards advise here is to get out of the head and get rid of that fear about the situation. Of perhaps it doesn't need to move anywhere. Perhaps it just needs time before you can flow one direction or another direction. And it could be that you might need to stay in this situation, juggling these juggling whatever you are juggling at the moment for a little while until it moves. But that is okay. It is with a full moon energy, it does seem like it's coming to some kind of completion though, so it might intensify and you might feel it more intensely, but after this intensity things will start moving one direction or another. For this pile I really wanted to draw a few other cards just to clarify if it is a decision that you're making. I really want to get a little bit more information about who are these Prince of Swords and this King of Pentacles. We have Three of Swords again. Oop. And Five of Cups. Okay. Okay, so I can see that yeah, there could be some kind of situation as well with Prince of Swords and this kind of Three of Swords here, that perhaps this individual here, one of the individuals, one of the situations that you are trying to juggle and trying to handle, might come a little bit too harsh. It might have been some kind of argument or something that really kind of have hurt you. Perhaps, Swords energy can be quite hurtful sometimes, and it might have come a little bit too harsh, too strong. There might have been some conflict or something that really could have been quite hurtful. And at the same time, I'm feeling that with this other individual, there might have been some kind of painful situations too, more like kind of emotional as such, like as if there is a need to walk away, or there is some kind of pain of someone leaving someone behind. It could be you feeling some pain, or you not wanting to leave this behind and move on. So there's quite a lot of pain involved in both of these situations, and perhaps that feels so intense and so emotional at the moment because you're trying to avoid the pain, or you're trying to manage this hurt somehow, that it wouldn't it wouldn't hurt as much. Maybe that's why you're holding on to both of these energies, and you're not wanting to release either of them. That's a very interesting kind of spread here, and I'm really, what really stands out for me is that there's a lot of swords energy here, and a lot of kind of feeling underlying pain, but more of such like a fear of hurt, or fear of being ending up in a painful situations, of hurting someone. But it really encourages you to try and release that fearful thinking that might actually lead you into these situations. Perhaps if you are to choose one or another, of course there will be some pain involved, but it is for the benefit of all, really, and perhaps it's not going to be as bad as you think if you just release this kind of negativity and will move forward. And I feel like, moving forward, releasing negativity and releasing fear might actually help you find some flow and might give you some clearer answers. At the moment, it's this fear that is holding you in a stuck position. It is this fear that heightens the emotion so much that it seems like it's really hard to juggle it, while the sea is so tumultuous at the back over there. So this is the message for the energies that are coming up. I do feel like, as with every moon cycles and stuff, after the full moon, the moon starts getting smaller, and this kind of emotional intensity starts reducing. And I really would, the cards really encourage you to try and take the swords of yourself, so you can do that and can get out of that headspace and connect with your heart a little bit more, and trust that the flow will find you again, because it's only just this kind of mental block that's holding you in this stuck place, juggling the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I hope this message resonated. I hope you got some useful advice from it, and feel free to choose another pile if it resonated, pile A or B, to check out the energies there. I actually kind of wanted to mention that there are quite a lot of cards that are repeated throughout different piles, so it's really felt to me like it was one long reading for everyone. So do feel free to dip into other piles and check whether the message there also resonates with you. And also this Eight of Swords actually kept falling out from different decks while I was shuffling the cards for different piles. So I really felt that it's one kind of like a message for a collective. And it did appear in some other pile as well. And it's a lot about feeling stuck and not able to move forward. But this block is normally self-created, and this block is normally our mental block, and it is not normally circumstantial. We might feel that it is, but often we create it in our head, and it is possible to get out of it just by shifting our perspective, by shifting our mental kind of state within us. And yes, that's the message for the collective and for this group as well. And I hope that's helpful. Please do comment below how you found this reading, and do like and subscribe to this to my channel. That would really help. Then I can create more videos and offer them to a wider public. That I would love to do for you. And I'll see you in the next one.